Doctor?
Doctor.
Secret Societies, Part 3.
Secret Societies.
The 9 Angles.
The 9 Angles. See, when I first read that, I thought it said the 9 Angels.
When I was doing the research, I kept looking for 9 angels, and all that came up was 9 angles, and I was like, this must be it.
Yeah.
Or we're going to have a great mix-up when it comes time to record, and you found out about 9 angels, and I was reading about 9 angles, and we're just going to compare notes.
So all these 9 angels, what?
All these 9 angels sit like this. It's an angle.
Yeah, this one is an interesting one. This one is a little darker, a little deeper than some of the other ones we've looked at so far.
So I gotta admit, I'm not as well versed into this one, so I'm probably gonna have to lean on you a bit. I was in the fucking rabbit hole on the Hellfire Club. So I wasn't even fully satiated on the Hellfire Club, and I was like, I gotta stop and I gotta learn about this one. So
yeah, so the 9 angles. First of all, the 9 is kind of a weird choice of like what why is it 9 angles? I don't get it.
did you see the picture of like the pentagram?
Yeah.
And it just looks stupid.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard of a 5-angled pentagram or a 7. What is that called? A septagram?
Septagram, yeah.
But yeah, this one is a 9 angles type situation.
I really think it's just lazy creativity because of how much the number 9 comes up.
Yeah. The number 9 comes up all throughout, like, different mysticisms and, like the 9, what is it, the 9...
9 levels of hell.
Yeah. Again, this is kind of a satanic cult. Why are there so many satanic cults? I don't get it.
It's so lazy. I'm sorry. I mean, the same can be said on the other side, because how many religions do you have?
True.
And then, I don't understand the whole satanic worship, I don't understand like the God worship either, but especially like everybody remembers somebody from middle school that was a devil worshiper, and then they turn out to be just a normal person.
Yeah.
As they get older, I really think it's something like there's an immaturity to it, where you don't actually believe in Satan or anything like that. You just want to say fuck the system. You're just mad at your dad.
Yeah, to me it seems like counterculture type situation. If you find yourself on the outside of, say, like the popular kids who all have certain things in common that do all these things together. Maybe they go to church, the same church, or they're in all these groups together. And you're on the outside. To make yourself feel more accepted, you're going to join something that's on the outside. And follow something that's on the outside, or make yourself so unapproachable, so that it's a conscious decision of yours to be on the outside instead of being outcast by others. You're going to put yourself outside there because it's a choice.
Yeah, to me, it's just like being different for the sake of being different.
Right.
It has nothing to do with your actual belief.
Yeah.
Because it's like the people who worship Satan, not all of them, but for the most part, it's like the things that they tend to believe, with like ritualistic sacrifice and all that, like you don't actually want that stuff done, especially to you.
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part. So it really does kind of scream like, I need attention in my book. It's a lot like, you probably remember this because we're from the 1900s, when Marilyn Manson was really popular. His music is really not that good. His shock value was what drew people in.
Right.
And I think that's a lot more in line with like satanic beliefs is the shock value of it.
Yeah. I think that's what draws a lot of people to it, is because they'll gain attention for something they're doing, but they're doing it they're getting attention just because it's outside of the normal, I don't want to say normal, but it's outside of what is usually happening.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what normal is. I don't know if there really is normal.
I don't think there is any kind of baseline for what normal is within the realm of, don't hurt people.
Yeah.
Fuck, we forgot to mention the line above the door, do what you will.
Oh yeah, that'll come into here.
Yeah, it does, but it should have been in Hellfire.
Yeah.
Totally spaced it.
So yeah, the Nine Angles was a group that was originated in the late 1960s, early 1970s, supposedly by this person named Anton, what's his name? Fuck.
I came across his name, but I thought it was formed by David-inci.
David-inci is the actual guy, but the pseudonym that he went under was Anton Long. Anton Long.
Okay.
I think. Let me look it up.
I think I came across that name.
Let me just make sure that's correct, because that's seems right. Yes, Anton Long, who was like a neo-Nazi. So this David Myatt, whatever his name is, grew up in Tanzania? Tasmania. One of these African... Tunisia. Yes.
Yeah.
And his father was some health administrator or something like that, but he witnessed some pretty horrendous stuff that happened with some neo-Nazi groups there, and kind of admired it because it was rebellious and stuff. And so he went back to England and joined some neo-Nazi groups, and again, he kind of thought that they were childish and doing stupid shit like breaking windows, and he really believed that they could make a change by really organizing and having more of an an organization type feel. And so he started this whole movement of a neo-Nazi occultist, almost going back to the belief of, a lot of people believe that Hitler believed in the occultism and using that magic, dark magic, to propel their own power or whatever. But he really believed that societal norms shouldn't be pressed on everybody, and you shouldn't be expected to behave certain ways, and you should do whatever makes you feel good.
Which is the opposite of how Nazis operated.
Yeah.
You do what you're told, when you're told to do it, how you're told to do it.
Yeah.
So that is a conflict right there, right off the bat.
So yeah, I mean, socialism is a thing of everybody is one, and so everybody's part of the group instead of everybody is almost anarchist. It's complete opposite almost.
Yeah, it's fucking silly.
So yeah, they were practicing, and again, it's a secret society, so a lot of this stuff is hearsay. But in order to join this cult, you would have to do certain things.
You would have to subject yourself for 2 years into something that would form discipline, like join the military or become a cop or one of these things that would put you through personal anguish to create growth.
Yeah. And along with that, he believed that in order to do this, you'd have to change the system from within. So, like, the people were encouraged to go and join the military, join the government, and join, like, the police, so that you could change the system from inside and disrupt the system from inside the system. Which, really, I mean, that's probably the best way to do it. But his intentions were totally kind of fucked.
Yeah, there was nothing noble about what he was doing.
No.
And the one really awful thing that they talk about doing is the culling of the weak.
Yeah.
And so a lot of their sacrifices were people that they saw as weak, but it was really just like homeless people and runaways and things like that. Anybody they could just kill and nobody would notice they were missing. It's not a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah, so they started this group, and for a few decades it was like a neo-Nazi type group, and then it kind of died down a little bit, and then all of a sudden with the emergence of the internet, it kind of grew new legs, and it was kind of being operated with no central, like, leadership or anything, just kind of rumors online. And so I think it's kind of an even bigger reach because of social media, to be able to find these people who are labeled outcasts and misfits to, and you see it online everywhere, like people who just want to be a part of something that join these.
100%. And even David Myatt himself was a person who was just searching for a path, because he went from kind of neo-Nazi to like a Islamic-based prophecy, kind of into the like Muslim terrorist realm. And you like looking into him as a character, he's kind of jumping from one notion to the next to the next to the next, and it's not like you should be able to look at that and see, okay, he's got a path of learning. It's not. He's just jumping from one ideology to the next, just trying to find a home.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with the people who join these paths. You know, they're kind of lost. There's a vacuum in their life that they're trying to backfill. So they find this thing, and it's something they can belong to, and it kind of has almost like a revenge plot. You know, the outcast kind of has like an outlet to not only belong to something, but to kind of get back at society that has outcasted them because they're different.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad. And they do this thing called the sinister path, which is rejecting moral boundaries to reach enlightenment.
Yeah.
Which is awful. Killing people to reach enlightenment, and that's not how you reach enlightenment.
Yeah.
Read a book and touch grass, motherfucker.
They believe that, that reaching enlightenment meant getting rid of all of the normal social morals. And so, like, murder's on the table, you know, do whatever the fuck you want to. Yeah. Anarchy, pretty much.
Do what ye will.
Yeah. And that was a teaching that was, or a saying that was quoted on the entrance to the Hellfire Caves. It's also a translation, so it was written in Latin in the Hellfire Caves. But it was also something that Anton LaVey preached, who was the
Church of Satan.
Church of Satan, the guy that made the Church of Satan, was like, his big teaching was like, do what thou will, or whatever. Instead of doing the will of God, you're doing whatever you want, because there is no God.
Yeah, and see, I've said this before multiple times. That's where I think Wiccans got the closest, because their catchphrase is, and it harm none, do what ye will. You can do what you want, just don't hurt nobody.
Yeah. Yeah, you just cut that first part out. No, I don't really care.
I gotta hurt people, man.
Yeah. It's so fun, man. You hear them screaming.
Have you ever done a ritual sacrifice, bro? If you had, you wouldn't put that stupid shit on the front.
So yeah, there's stories that say that like part of this path to what is it?
Sinister paths.
The sinister path is you would be involved with this ritual that was like you have to find somebody who's either a willing sacrifice, who's going to let themselves be sacrificed in this thing for you to be ordained into this thing, whatever, to be fully enlightened, or you find somebody that you just want to have killed or whatever, and then like you bring them to this place and there's a ritual and you have sex with this priestess, and then she kills that person, slits their throat. Whether this was actually done or not, I believe it probably was once or twice.
I can almost guarantee it was.
But yeah, it's pretty fucking stupid.
It is stupid, and that is such a through line with so many different clubs and societies, or more appropriately in the modern age, gangs, where a lot of the bigger end gangs is like the younger junior gangs, it's like get jumped in, but the higher end gangs is you got to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And usually you don't get to pick who. And this is a totally like real thing. It happens every single day in society. Mm-hmm. So it's so strange to me that to be inducted into a group that's going to make you feel some sense of belonging, you have to take a life. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like showing devotion to do whatever it takes for the group for you to belong.
I do understand that aspect. I just think isn't there a better way?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's why, I mean, I think that it's, so you're showing your devotion to this group of people that you want to be accepted for whatever you want to do, but in order to do that, you have to do whatever they want you to do.
Yeah. Which is like, did you ever watch the show Oz?
Yeah. The prison show?
Yeah.
Or The Wizard?
No, the prison show.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's something similar with that same vein, only in a more prison context.
Yeah.
So it's
a whole lot more peepees than I would have liked in that
How
show.
much do you really want to belong that you either have to do something sexually you don't want to do, or you got to kill somebody? Yeah. I don't want to belong that bad. I'm okay being a loner.
Nah, man, I'll just be a loner.
Yeah, I'm just going to eat lunch by myself every day.
Yeah, I'll be over there. Please don't sacrifice. I don't want to be sacrificed.
Yeah. Don't talk to me either.
Yeah.
People are fucking sick.
So yeah, I mean, this thing, once the internet hit, kind of grew its own legs and started taking off, and it's like, what is it, 09A? It's referred to now on the internet. And people are taking the teachings in there and kind of translating them for their own, in their own type of like whatever they understand it to be, and it's taking a new life of its own.
Yeah, I think people are just twisting it into what they want it to be so they can justify doing awful shit.
Yeah.
Because I think at the core there are evil people. For the most part, most people are good, and then there are people who are genuinely evil. And I think those are the people who look at that and go, these rules seem a little flexible.
Yeah. It says do what I want. I kind of want to kill everybody around me.
I kind of just want to murder people.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's a perfect outlet for sociopaths.
Yeah.
And I would tend to believe that a lot of them don't even believe in like the religious part of it, or you know, the like belonging part of it. They just go, fuck, I can get in with this and do whatever I want, and it's justified, and nobody's going to be like, hey, you're a sick fuck, because they're all doing it too.
Yeah. It's
just an outlet for them to release that evil that's inside of them.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, and so the thing that I thought was really interesting about this group was that there's a theory that is talking about how David Hyatt might have been working, and like we said, these people were encouraged to join like agencies like the police department and like military and agencies. So here in America, there's a story of like a guy that was a member who actually was in the military and then got found out of a plot that he was going to kill his whole platoon, but he got caught before it happened. And it came out that he was part of this whole Nine Angles society and whatever. But there's a theory out there that says that this thing was all set up as a mind experiment to see how far you could take somebody and how easy it is to manipulate them and brainwash people into doing whatever the fuck you want. Almost like the MK Ultra shit.
Yeah.
It's happening around the same time. There's all these agencies that are involved and know about it and aren't shutting it down completely. So how much of it is being manipulated to see how far they can take it without getting blown out into the public eye too much?
Yeah, there was... I had gone through a handful of anecdotal stories about people who were part of this organization but are within different government agencies that, like the soldier, you know, he got found out. But then there was another soldier who purposely got his squad killed by Islamic terrorists. And there was another story about a cop who was doing some fucked up shit, so on and so forth. They're all anecdotal. Go read them for yourself. But I'm going to take that idea a step further to say it's not just a test. It's actually like a subdivision sleeper cell where you have these people that, again, are wanting belonging and they're wanting to have a purpose in life. So they already fit a certain type of profile, right? So it's easy to recruit these people and then get them into places where you need them to be. So take whatever three-letter agency you want. They're basically in control of these people because they're in control of the leadership of this group and what goes on the internet. So they're properly placing these people in where they need them to be, and they're creating these events to happen for whatever reason they want to. So, like, the soldier that did get his squad killed was probably like a political ploy to be like, okay, these terrorists attacked our troops, now we can go in for retribution because
like
we're justified. False flag.
Yeah.
So I think it's less about a test and it's more about very well positioned sleepers.
Yeah.
That's just the way I see it.
Yeah.
Because what better way to be able to like disown any kind of responsibility for it than just to say, oh, it was this sick fuck, this psycho that belonged to this radicalist group, but secretly you control that radicalist group.
Right.
It totally disavow any responsibility whatsoever, and you still get your agenda met.
Yeah. Yeah, I was recently watching the American Alchemy podcast, and he was talking to a psychologist who has studied and written books talking about mostly about like MK Ultra and the like links to a lot of the assassinations that were going on in that time period of the late 60s, early 70s, JFK, RFK, all the way up into Timothy McVeigh, the Unabomber, and how they all had contact with Jolly West, who was like a doctor, but he was linked into this MK Ultra program. But I think here it's kind of the same thing where you get these agencies to, like you said, create an organization, round up all these people who want to belong to something and are willing and showing that they're willing to do outrageous things for the cause.
Mm-hmm.
And you can manipulate them in any way you want, and then when it comes out in the open that this person did this thing, and it's like, oh, it's because they're crazy.
Yeah.
They're in this neo-Nazi group.
That's it. I really think it is. It's just the genesis of MK Ultra. Only we're not using drugs. We're being smarter. We're using psychological profiles to find recruits.
Yeah.
And then at the end, they're part of this crazy neo-Nazi group.
Yeah.
And it kind of further paints Nazis as the villain of the world, you know, which I don't think so anymore, but it's kind of like, do you remember a couple of years ago when it was, you know, you would see people in public wearing like the Nazi patch and shit, and people would punch them or hit them or whatever, and everybody was like, yeah, it's okay to just beat up Nazis and shit. And for a minute, I kind of thought, like, you know, if I had to make a list of 100 things that plague America right now, Nazis would not even make that fucking list because it's so stupid. And nobody really believes in that ideology anymore except for a small group of really stupid people. They're not a threat.
Yeah.
So it's just weird to me. But it's so easy to slap that fucking label on it, Nazi.
Yeah.
And you automatically just attribute that to actual Nazis, and real Nazis were evil. So it's such an easy thing to do. And it happens all the time right now where there's a political figure you don't like, call him a Nazi.
Yep.
Automatically discredits him. It's because we've created that culture in our mind that just Nazi equals
bad.
evil. Nazi's bad. And
I'm not saying that Nazis are great.
Yeah, I'm not defending Nazis. I'm just saying, like, the psychological aspect of modern culture is just Nazi bad, no matter what.
Yeah, it's just using a trigger word that, like, instills that like disdain for a group of people. It's the same thing as like race, like a creating racial tension with just a word. Just like it's almost like we've all been brainwashed into this.
Yeah.
This thing that you hear Nazi and it's automatically you hate this person, and it's like,
yeah. And it's,
have we all been brainwashed? I mean, the Nazis were terrible in Germany.
What they did was fucking awful.
Yeah.
It really was. And nobody's denying that, but I mean, culture keeps pushing the fact that Nazis are bad. I mean, look at that movie Nuremberg on Netflix with Russell Crowe, and you can watch it and they're almost trying to humanize Goering in a way, and people just naturally think, like, no matter what, if they were a Nazi, they were all evil, they were all bad. But that's not reality. Some of them literally were just following orders, and some of them were doing what they had to do to stay alive, you know, in that situation. So, again, I'm not, like, justifying anything Nazis did. I'm just saying that there is gray area there that we as a society, like you said, are brainwashed to just go Nazi equals evil. And it's kind of a lazy concept anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know that makes me seem like a sympathizer, but it's more of a human interest to look at it from another angle.
I think that it's such a delicate thing to be able to talk about without sounding like you're sympathizing or you are opposed to Nazism. Or really, I don't give a fuck what you think. Like,
Yeah.
If you don't like people because of the color of their skin, you're probably fucking stupid. And that's okay. I don't care if you're that stupid. Like,
As long as you're not hurting anybody, I don't care if you're a racist.
Yeah.
I don't care if you don't like black people or Mexicans or whatever because their color is different. As long as you're not acting out on it, it doesn't matter to me.
yeah.
Because, again, with that Wiccan philosophy, and it harm none, do what you will. Now, am I going to think you're an idiot? Yes. Am I going to think you're kind of a cunt? Absolutely.
Yeah. I think that you have the freedom to be as ignorant as you want.
Yeah. It's just
It's
like...
up to you.
It's just like freedom of speech, right? You can say whatever you want, but that doesn't mean there's no consequence. You just have the legal ability to say what it is you want.
Yeah.
So if you want to go around calling black people the N-word, by all means, go ahead. But when you get your shit rocked for calling somebody the N-word, that's on you.
Yeah.
And I feel the same about any other form of hate. You can hate people all you want, but when it comes back around, that's your own fucking karma.
Yeah.
Eat shit.
Yeah. Furthermore, why hate people? It takes so much fucking energy to hate people. Just, oh, that person, I don't like that person because they did such and such. End of story. Like, I don't care what color they are.
Yeah.
Or what ethnic background they have.
No, I genuinely don't put it through that lens. If you did something awful and I hate you for it, the color of your skin means no, it has no interjection into that.
Yeah.
Like if you're a fucking pedophile, just because you're black doesn't play a factor. You're a fucking pedophile. That's what I see you as.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're a Mexican pedophile or a white pedophile. You're just a sick fuck.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. But yeah, I agree. Hating people just takes so much energy.
Yeah, especially when you focus on it so much. You're focusing so much energy on hating a group of people. It's a waste of energy.
And for what?
Yeah.
Because they're different?
Different than you for some reason. I don't know.
And it doesn't make sense, really. It's like hating somebody because they like a different music than you. Like, you like fucking reggae? What is wrong with you, you dumb bastard? You're such a piece of shit.
What, you just like to chill?
Which,
haven't you ever had the feeling to just fucking rage out?
you don't listen to death metal? You fucking cuck. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole just labeling them with neo-Nazi is just the easiest way to just go crazy, evil, terrible.
Yeah, and I think that it's being utilized very efficiently.
Very much so.
And like you said, it's such an easy thing to do that it would be an easy scapegoat to like just label these people as, oh, they're neo-Nazis. It's a neo-Nazi group. It had nothing to do with like them being trained in all these different areas by the CIA or
No.
FBI and whatever. But like, he was definitely a neo-Nazi. It wasn't brainwashed at all.
Well, and it's even the term neo-Nazi, like you were saying earlier, where they're more anarchists. They want to do whatever they want, but that's not how the Nazis operated. It was almost communist, where you did what you were told when you were told how to do it. But neo-Nazi is like kind of on the opposite end. They just take that word Nazi instead of just being like anarchist.
Yeah.
It's just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Well, there's like a in writing, like even writing books or writing songs, whatever, there's words that you use that a lot of people use, like red or fire or like just keywords that instill an emotion in you.
Mm-hmm.
No matter how it's used in the context, you hear the word and you have something that like it triggers inside of you. I think that has become one of those words that's almost like it's just a word that is used to instill an emotion.
Yeah, it's just a trigger word.
Yeah.
But looking at kind of the trajectory of David Myatt himself, or Hyatt, whatever the fuck his name is, the only part that's cool is the David part. But watching his trajectory of like the neo-Nazism to the Islamic to the Muslim and all that, it really is the perfect breeding ground to create mindless soldiers. Mm-hmm. Because you get the anarchist part, you know, that's the rebellious part of these people that you're trying to get. All right, that's check one. And then you move into like the Islamic terrorist part is the kind of belonging. You belong to a group that's standing against the big guy. And that's part two. And then in the Muslim culture, you know, the terrorists believe that you'll commit these acts of violence and die in the process, and you'll get 70 virgins when you get to heaven. That's part three. So you get the the rebellious nature, you get the belonging, and you get a reward. So you're kind of teaching this three-pronged system to these people who are just societal outcasts.
Right.
It's the perfect melting pot to create mindless soldiers.
Yeah. And these people that have been considered themselves outcasts, that are longing for this sense of like community, and they find this thing that they can do these things whatever they want to and be rewarded for it. I mean, and look at themselves as like a warrior for justice. So you're doing it for such a good cause that, like, yeah, I can see how it could be enticing for a lot of people who are kind of lost.
Yeah, I mean, again, like we were talking about the other day with kind of the masculine man no longer being part of our cultural zeitgeist, leaving a vacuum for like the manosphere to kick in. This is kind of the same thing, where traditional protocols of life, like religion or being part of the working class or entrepreneurship or anything like that, doesn't appeal to these people, so it creates a vacuum that allows space for something more malevolent to come in. Instead of these people kind of growing up with a concept of, you know, I could start a business, I can live the American dream, I can do this or that or the other. They just, they're wandering, you know. They probably grew up with no guidance or grew up with too strict of guidance, and just leaves that vacuum, leaves a big hole for anything to fill.
Yeah.
And they just stumbled across the worst fucking thing possible.
Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think that it's a real thing that is ongoing today. And with, like I said, with the onset of the internet and social media, the reach of this thing is in all corners of the earth, and is currently collecting people that are looking and longing for something to be a part of. And it seems to them very alluring, so it's kind of scary.
It's very scary, and it's scary to think that there are still people who are guaranteed actively in this club that are in positions where they can do some real harm.
Yeah.
And I'd be willing to bet there's probably quite a few of them.
Yeah.
Currently in our active military and police and firefighters, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Politicians.
Yeah, in that interview on American Alchemy with that psychiatrist, he was talking about how they created these sleeper cells and these sleeper agents that could be triggered by a word or a phrase or something audible like a song or whatever, and they switch into a different personality. It's almost like multiple personality disorder that they have created or cultivated into these people. And whereas they do something that they've been told that they need to do, and then when they hear this audible trigger, they switch into this alternate personality, do whatever they were supposed to do, and then switch back, and then they have no memory of what actually took place. Like Sirhan that supposedly killed RFK says that he doesn't remember ever firing a shot. RFK Jr. says that he believes that it was not even Sirhan that took the shot. It was somebody from behind him who was Lockheed Martin.
Lockheed Martin is not part of anything nefarious. Ever.
Yeah, that was hired the day before.
Yeah. Or it's, what's his name? The guy who shot JFK. Smookbrain.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
That guy.
He certainly did not shoot JFK, but he had been part of kind of Russian extremism. Yeah. So he's the perfect patsy.
He definitely shot at him.
Yeah, I think he shot at him and missed.
He took a shot.
But he was not the one who killed him. But he was the perfect patsy because he was into like Russian extremism during the Cold War.
Mm-hmm.
And he was even like kind of an inductee into Russian culture. So
yeah, well, he went to Russia and lived there for. Like, he defected from the U.S., went to Russia and lived there for a few years, and then came back.
Yeah,
with no question.
Exactly.
Of like who he was.
That's because he was the perfect patsy. He fit the psychological profile. It just so happened he wasn't that good of a marksman.
Yeah.
Especially with his busted ass rifle. That was known to be highly inaccurate.
Yeah.
So, perfect fall guy. Same with all these guys, you know. They already fit the psychological profile. They get inducted. They do their ritual and move on to the next part, and then eventually they're called into action to do something awful.
Well, it's kind of the same thing we talked about with the Hellfire Club. If you get these people, if they're actually doing this sinister path thing, they get into this thing and then they do all these horrific things, and then all of a sudden you say, okay, now I want you to do this, and if you don't, I'm going to tell everybody that you did this other stuff.
Yeah.
And so it could be just the same kind of
I'm going to show
manipulation.
everybody the video of you slitting that woman's throat to get inducted.
Yeah.
Same thing. No, I know that they had a lot of ritualistic magic and things like that they were trying to employ, but it's all smoke and mirrors.
Yeah.
It was all horse shit.
I think that for the most part it's all smoke and mirrors to create a scenario of people wanting to get into this club, but really they're being inducted into a control scenario of like, now we have you and you're going to do whatever the fuck we tell you to do.
Yeah. I think a lot of these secret societies that rely on the magic, the mysticism, the rituals and things like that, that is all a ploy to get people to automatically kind of drop their guard. Because if you can, it's kind of like watching a magician. You watch a magician and you go, fuck, how did he do that? I can't wrap my mind around it. You're enthralled. It's kind of the same thing for them. They'll see these rituals happen and maybe, talk to the devil or sit and play cards with the devil or whatever, and now they're just 100% believers because they saw it with their own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all fake. It's all bullshit. And it's just what they do to get them into the door. And again, with the kind of like 70 virgins in heaven thing, promise a reward. With these rituals to be like, hey, you got to meet Satan, and he said he's going to take care of you when you get down there, but you got to do this thing first.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I could see the part of that works, to see something beyond belief with your own two eyes, to experience it for yourself, is going to kind of make you a believer. Like if an angel just floated through the ceiling right now and landed right here, I'd be like, fuck, angels are real. But could have been a hologram, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the perfect play.
You imagine going and sitting down and people are like, oh yeah, this is the devil, he's playing cards with us tonight. And you're like, dude, I fucking played poker with the devil last night. It's pretty chill, actually. Pretty chill guy.
Like, I asked him about that Charlie Daniels song, and he's like, fuck no, that shit's
Never
not
happened.
true.
Fucking liar.
He's like, you know what, watch this.
Never even played the fiddle before.
The devil, first of all, he's a cello player, not a fiddle player. God, get it right. Have you ever heard that song, Beals, by Stephen Lynch?
No.
Maybe. He's a singing comedian, so he just makes all these songs that are fucking hilarious. That one's worth a listen. Because at the end he's like, fuck Charlie Daniels, I don't care if you could fiddle, I'm Satan. Boom, boom, devil went down to Georgia. He was looking for a soul to steal. He's like, you know what, this is fucking bullshit. Because I would never be caught dead in Georgia, okay? Hilarious song.
I'll have to listen to that.
Worth a shot. But yeah, I think we solved this one too.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think that if we are correct, which I believe we are most of the time, it is scary. And it's something that we all need to look out for. And, get your kids involved in regular clubs.
Yeah. Chess. Sports, maybe.
Yeah. The local Domino's club. No poker. Devil might be there.
Yeah. Especially if it's in Georgia.
Yeah, I think we can call this one solved also.
Fucking solved it, bud. We're just tearing down these secret societies one by one. They're all sick fucks.
I think that's what it comes down to, is that secretly a lot of rich people just are sick fucks.
It's looking at all the parallels that tie all these clubs together that have nothing to do with each other, that aren't in the same region or in the same time frame, but magically they all kind of have the same through lines. The rich and the powerful want to stay rich and powerful, and the dumbest of the dumb are going to do the dirty work.
Mm-hmm.
This is just reality.
So really the question is, like, with these people who are doing all these perverse things, is that just human nature to be perverted in that way? And like, most people just can't afford to be that way? Or
I don't know. I think it speaks to something in our subconscious where, especially as men, we're very sexually driven creatures.
yeah.
Where that's just like the easiest place to prod is to your sexual nature. And because here's an example. Every dude does this. Well, every heterosexual dude does this. You're watching a movie and you see an attractive woman and your thought goes, I'd fuck her.
No, come on, we don't all do that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah,
100%. So, or, you know, you'll have some kind of fantastical idea about that person that relates to sex.
Yeah.
So it's the easiest switch to flip in us. But
Speaking of, like, we were watching, so it was me, my wife, and then my oldest daughter, Izzy, and her boyfriend watching a movie last night. We were watching that new Anaconda movie.
oh yeah, with Paul Rudd.
Yeah. And there's like one actress, and it just kind of shows her, and then Julius was like, whoa. Just said it audibly. And like we all looked over at him, and like Izzy just fucking got pissed off. I was like, oh. Bad move, dude. Bad move.
Yeah. But see, that proof of concept right there.
Yeah.
I mean, just now, as soon as you said Anaconda, right before I thought about Paul Rudd, I thought about Jennifer Lopez from the original one, and she was banging in that movie. I wouldn't touch her with a stolen dick now, but, you know, at the time she was fucking smoking hot.
Yeah.
So, like I said, that's the easiest switch to flip in a man.
Yeah.
It's just how do you get that particular man you're going for to flip their switch to do something that's immoral sexually.
Yeah.
But that's where you have to get them to do that, so you get the dirt. So you get, hey, I saw what you did with that underage person. I've got dirt on you. Now you're going to do what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Sick.
Sick.
We should just start killing them.
Yeah. Harsher punishments.
Speaking of harsher punishments for illicit acts with minors, I don't know if I told you this, but I posted a clip recently about making the punishment extreme.
Oh, yeah.
For that, and elective suicide and shit like that. And TikTok decided they wanted to take that clip down because it's hate speech.
Hate speech against pedophiles?
They just labeled it as hate speech. Now, I'm sorry if me talking about eliminating PDF files is hate speech. I'm not sure I want to be on that platform anymore.
Yeah, that's it's pretty gross, TikTok.
Yeah, Meta was cool with it, and look who runs Meta.
Yeah. I mean, if you're not opposed to pedophileism,
Disgustingness.
then I guess you are for it.
I hate to draw such black and white parallels, but yes. If you consider that hate speech to talk about ixnaying bad people, then you're for it. No two ways about it in my book.
It looks like a conversation for ChatGPT.
ChatGPT solved this. Does people at TikTok support pedophilia? I'm gonna prompt that later and see how it comes out. I'm sure it'll say no.
Probably.
Yeah.
Who's that owned by?
I don't know. I'm gonna actually say I have a conspiracy theory about that.
Really?
Yeah. So you know how sometime last year it was going to be TikTok is going to be shut down, and a lot of people were kind of panicking about it, and it created the show hole thing and all that. And then it was down for like a few hours and then went right back up. I genuinely think that it was owned by a Chinese company, and now it's owned by wealthy and powerful people in America through a Chinese shell company. Which is why they're so strict on talks about PDF files and all that. Which is why you can't even say the word like killed or murdered on there. You can only say like unalived.
Yeah.
Or you can't even say pedophile. You have to say PDF file. And you can't say rape. You have to say grape. I genuinely think it's owned by wealthy and powerful people in America.
Yeah, I kind of wonder if it's just they use a language bot that searches for certain words no matter what context they're used in, and then just like, okay, this has these words in it, we're not going to play this.
Yeah.
I want to say that's probably what they do, but like we're talking about them in negative connotations, so it should be, I would think it should be allowed, but
I think so too. It goes back to freedom of speech. Granted, they're privately owned platforms, so they can regulate however they want, but it still looks really bad when you're shutting down people who are speaking out against pedophilia.
yeah.
Fuck, get your shit together, TikTok.
Yeah, I don't really fucking use TikTok. I'll go in there and just look at the shit that you send me, but like, I always forget about it.
I use it too much. But it's also like the platform that we get the lowest views on, so I kind of feel like out of that conversation there's a good clip to make out of that, and I'll put it back into TikTok, and if they violate that one again, I'm just deleting it. Eat shit.
Yeah.
And then I'll start a whole smear campaign. Because again, Meta is cool with it.
Should be.
So, anyways, I'm going to get off my soapbox on that one. It's just weird how all these things kind of come back around to pedophilia as like a baseline.
Yeah.
It's so weird, so gross.
It is gross.
We should just kill them.
Definitely.
And I'm okay with being the trigger man. Just, look, like we talked about, have them dig a really big hole, stand right next to the hole, just walk up behind, pop, 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 pop. Bulldoze it back in, we're good. You guys want to get McDonald's?
Actually, I had some brought in. You just stand on top of the dirt, eating the fucking double cheese.
Eating that baby cheese.
And just drop the wrappers right there.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah. New landfill.
Now
Bury it with the rest of the trash.
Put porta potties right on top of them, but don't have the container at the bottom, so you're just shitting and pissing on a grave. So it needs to happen, dude.
Yeah.
We gotta just eliminate all of them. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to 09A now. So yeah, I really think we solved it. Social profiling was the next smartest tool that the CIA probably used instead of using LSD.
Yeah. Well, even in the MK Ultra, there was a list of 120 different drugs that they were testing. But throughout those tests, I'm sure there were just psych profilers that were like looking at different things of just like certain individuals are more susceptible to being what they need, being able to be turned into these sleeper cells or more suggestible just by their psychological profile.
And the timing was really perfect.
Yeah.
In the late 60s when kind of the flower power, the hippies, all that sort of thing, this kind of like disruption of social norms was happening. It was the perfect time to start something like that.
Yeah.
And like, maybe it ran concurrently with MK Ultra. I'd have to look at the timeline, but just knowing how things were then with the discourse with the Vietnam War, the whole 9 yards, it was like the perfect breeding ground to get people who didn't trust the government, who were looking at alternative religions, alternative methods of life, things like that. It's just like a perfect cherry-picking situation.
Yeah.
It's genius.
Was genius in a very nefarious fucking way.
Isn't it crazy that, like, the most brilliant minds who come up with the most brilliant tech and methodology are usually fucking evil people? Again, Nazis, Werner von Braun. Genius in rocket technology. Evil motherfucker.
Yeah, it has to stands to reason, like, the people that have that capacity for, like, thinking outside the box are just that way because they are so far outside of the box that they don't even see, like, social infrastructure as being valuable or being relevant in
It's
any way.
the sinister path. It's rejecting morality in favor of enlightenment.
Yeah.
Or in this case, knowledge. So maybe the sinister path was created a long, long time ago.
Maybe 1700s.
They just coined the phrase.
Yeah.
Probably read a book on the Hellfire Club, was like, ooh, taking notes. I like that.
Well, I think that even the Hellfire Club, a lot of their stuff was taken from, like, Wiccan philosophies and, like, occult philosophies and adapted to what they wanted it to be.
Well, I think that's how all religions kind of come about. You know, you'll have certain kind of OG religions, Judaism, things like that, and then every religion created after, you know, the big major ones is like, it's just an offshoot. It's the same thing repackaged and rebranded. Like, look at Seventh-day Adventist. They're basically just Judeo-Christians, only they go to church on Saturday instead of Sunday. Or Southern Baptist is basically an offshoot of like Catholicism. Like, they're all kind of the same thing, just interchangeable.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really care what religion you believe in. Don't mess with me, and I won't mess with you. I respect you as much as you respect me.
Same. I mean, if you're Wiccan, you get a couple more points with me because, again, I think they're the only ones who got the closest to being right. And at harm none, do what you will, karma, balance with nature, the masculine and feminine energy, all that. Like, all things that I genuinely believe in.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you get extra points if you're Wiccan. But if you're an asshole, go fuck yourself.
But I still fucking hate you if you are a dick.
What if they're like a Wiccan, but they still call black folks the N-word? Like, God damn it, I want to like you, but you fucked it up.
What is it? Most people, you're either a dick or an asshole.
There's 3 types of people in this world: dicks, pussies, and assholes.
Yeah.
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 Anyway, solved it.
Solved it.
Another one.
Put it in the bag.
Put it in the can, dude.
All right.
All right. Later, Tater.
Bye.